Like people be like, it got sharks in, but
I didn't know you had. Well,
sharks got border patrol. I really want to verify that.
Google it quick.
The things that we're asking the average citizen to do to play their role, I don't necessarily know that the average person understands what it is they're directly protecting, what they're impacting.
With like through the hike is like the vehicle, but I guess your main mission is to just have people care, understand, and then work towards protecting the environment.
Absolutely. That's Ocean Campbell. I am the owner and operator of Ocean Hike. I am here with Melissa today doing, I'm not really sure what, because she won't tell me. She has her laptop out with a bunch of questions, so I'm going to be answering them, I think.
The first thing that I want to talk about is your name. I know you had to hear things about your name from the time you was young. Tell me, what are some of the funniest things you've heard, or most interesting, or the most like, you want to serious things you've heard about your name?
Pro tip, if you do meet me, I feel like this is gonna have the opposite response,
That,
but
yeah.
if you do meet me, I promise you, I'm not gonna laugh if you crack the ocean joke, or I'm just gonna ha ha ha, and we're gonna move on. It just isn't like, it's just not funny.
Oh, I see. I see.
I was always outside, always investigating something. And like almost, I feel as though I wasn't a bad behaved child. Like, you know, children would like, you would tell them what to do and they won't do it, or you would tell them, like they would give you
like everybody
back chat and
said
stuff.
that's what it, I wasn't a
Okay, let me,
bad
no, because I'm getting there.
Okay.
So it wasn't a case of I was bad behaved because I disrespected authority or because I was rude. It was always a case of I was too curious for my own good, and I would do things that like, I wasn't even thinking about the repercussions or
Give me
like
an
what would
example.
happen. So like for instance, I remember one of the first times I got in trouble when I was a kid, I can't remember, was my parents always said we had like a real like bushy backyard where you could like, there was a lot of just like plants and stuff, and I was real curious about all the animals and stuff. And my mom always said never cross the property line, because I was a little child, she would let me go outside without her supervision, but she would don't go off the property. And I saw this spider. And I was like, I'm just gonna go, because I didn't even think, I just ran out. And she saw me and I...
You get beat? Did you get beat?
I am not at liberty to say.
Oh, right, because corporal
this time.
punishment
We do not advocate
for corporal punishment, right, amen.
So it was always a case of like, I would get in trouble for
Being
being
curious.
so curious. Not that they were trying to discourage my curiosity, but like just kind of show me to be safe or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was that kind of child. Like I was just always curious about something, and it was almost always animal related. There wasn't an Animal Planet or National Geographic show that I wasn't
love
watching.
Animal Planet.
I grew up on that stuff. There wasn't like a David Attenborough documentary that I didn't see. I was that kid that would get like the fact books at Christmas and stuff, and I was the most annoying person.
Actually,
the thing about
you
whales
know
is
about
that
a stegosaurus is this, and actually they don't do that. Actually, that can't be that bird because it doesn't fly at
100%.
this
I don't even think I let go of that until adulthood, to be honest. I think I was
Okay.
like that in secondary school as well. Like there was just this part of me that just had to know everything.
Everything.
And it's only in adulthood I recognize that just because you want to know everything don't mean that everybody else want to hear about it.
It's perfect to talk about who you are today. Like you're very interested in the environment, you're very interested in animals and learning more about them. So it kind of makes sense that today you run. I don't want to say you run the hike.
You could say that. You know, obviously it is surrounding hiking right now, but I try to explain to people, for me, it has a lot less to do with the hiking aspect and the exercise aspects, and more to do with being outdoors, being in green spaces, interacting with nature, interacting with animals, getting to learn about the environment around you. So, because I think the main thing that I do it for is because, as I've told all the time, I want to conserve the environment, I want to play my part. And I think a niche that nobody is focused on, or very few people are focused on, is the fact that you can't convince people to protect something, to conserve something, to work for something if they don't care about it.
That is
and
true.
you can't care about something you have no connection to. I will say is that like, for them, usually that stop at Concept Bay at the pier is about 5 minutes. We spent almost a half hour down there because people were so curious about it, and that probably stuck with them. You get me? And if I asked them now to go and do something that had to do with conservation around the sea, even if they were not as inclined before, they may be like, well, you know what? We are trying to keep those octopus safe. We do want those to be alive. We do want those to be
You
around.
actually are doing that, because when I went on the hike, you remember the guys that were catching the birds.
Yes.
So in my head, okay, I'm gonna see birds in cages all the time, and just that's normal. You hear tweet, 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 you walk past them. But then when we went on the hike, we saw some guys illegally. I didn't even know it was illegal. I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest.
Under the Environmental Protection Act in Barbados, it is illegal to catch wild birds. Yep.
You see that? So that's something that I learned through being on the hike. All right, so that's wonderful. So we talked about ocean hikes. We're gonna talk a little bit about your experience as a journalist. That's what I knew you were into first.
What really got me into the career then was I had a professor who would bring in recruiters to speak to us on specific mornings, just let us know what was going on, what jobs were available, etc. And it was just one morning where a local news station came, and I had spent so many hours in the library the night before till 4 a.m. finishing a video project for one of the classes that I literally slept through. I said, I'm gonna take a 30-minute nap, go to this class because I need to see these recruiters and take my resume.
Late, and then you were working late and then you sleep through the class.
And then it ended up, not the class that the assignment was due for,
a
different class that I had that morning, but I was gonna take a 30-minute nap and go to the class. I slept right through it. And apparently they were taking resumes and everything. So I went and I started messaging people from the class. I was like, can I please just get some of that contact information? Please just help me out. I got email addresses for one person that came. And I sent them an email saying, hey, I'm so sorry I didn't make it to the class today. I was so tired from working, but here's an attachment of my writing samples and my resume. Please just reconsider. You know, they reached out to me and they didn't reach out to anybody else.
He's flexing. This is your chance to say your final words to our audience.
I will say something to the youth. Can you shift a little bit?
So can I still be on the couch or should I leave?
Something I want to leave with you guys is to take up space. You see what I did there? Never be afraid to take this space. Melissa's here, but I'm here now. You get me? This is my couch. I work in a capital media now. Because you have to be confident in what you want and go for it. You don't get jobs by being worried about whether or not you're qualified. You don't get jobs by not applying because you don't think you fit the description. You don't get to places that you want to be without opening the door yourself. Nobody's going to open it for you. If you are a young person in Barbados, remember that every single thing that you want, you're going to get by getting it for yourself. Nobody's going to hand it to you. And that doesn't mean that it's hard to get, or that doesn't mean that it's impossible to get, but that means you have to get it for yourself, and you need to take up space to do that.
You ate with that one. I didn't know where you was going, but you ate with that one. Wow!
Wow! That's twice for the day.